one after another after another. I just keep bringing them out, man. Still got lots of stuff for you guys, so stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Anyways, what I got for you today, welcome back. What I have for you guys today is hen and rooster. Now these guys are also, the company is also very old. As you can tell on the box, it says world's finest since 1845. German stainless. So also based out of Germany. So I guess I think that's their competitor to, Kissing Crane, hen and rooster. I do like hen and rooster, but I think that there's some things that they've done differently just to get away with it, so that way they can continue having their company. But the main difference with hen and rooster and Kissing Crane is full pin construction. I've noticed that. Hen and rooster, it's a mixture between pin construction and screw construction. You guys will see that as soon as I get to the knife. So when you get the knife, if you get the knife, go on eBay. You can get them on there. Hen and rooster, world's finest. Now, there's nothing really crazy that comes. I'm so sorry that I'm bumping this. I'm still trying to get used to this tripod, so bear with me. Nothing interesting comes in the box. You get your little, slip thing in there, and then you got your plastic bag, and that's really it. So no paperwork. If you guys are curious about that, this is not the interesting part of the video, all right? So that's garbage. But that's basically all the box really says. You got the barcode at the bottom of the box to tell you what the item number is, how to identify it, all that good and happy junk that really isn't too interesting. But this is what we're here for. And I'm bumping my tripod again. I do apologize. So this is a staghorn, genuine staghorn with a type of protective finish on top. Now, when I got this knife wasn't opened. It was in the box, brand new. So when this knife came to me, there was a little bit of an issue. And that's due to the fact that it is a combination of pin and screw construction. It's what's keeping the knife together. Now, I actually do enjoy this knife very much, but I had to do a couple of fixing modifications to it to make it sturdy and repaired, because when I got it, it was not like this. The handle scale was hanging off of one screw, and it was slightly askew, I guess is the right term. And I've noticed that there was a little bit of glue in there. So whoever had this knife before me, when they glued the handle scale down, they didn't pay attention to the screw. And the screw, I guess, fell off threading. So the threading was off, and I couldn't use the screw anymore. I tried to use a very, very small Phillips flathead, and I tried to screw that in. And when I did, the screw wasn't catching. Like, the threading wasn't catching to the brass scale underneath, which is right there. You can see it. So there was no way that I could make this work. I looked at this. I took the screw out. I looked at it, and it was done. So what I ended up doing was I just used a special type of glue, and now it's as solid as a rock. There's no wiggle, there's no handle play at all, and it just made this knife. It brought it back, because obviously I'm not taking this knife apart. I'm going to treat it as if it's fully pinned, fixed, and I cannot do anything to get this knife to come apart, and I don't want to. This is one of those knives where I just want to collect them. Now, this is not like Kissing Crane, where the bolsters are all shined up. They actually come matte finished like this. So I think that's really nice. Real brass, why not? Can't go wrong with that. And real horn. And what I thought was really strange was when I was looking at it in normal pictures, you don't see the swell, but there's a swell in the handle. So you got a very oval kind of shape to it, which I thought was really interesting. Thought it was different, and not to mention the fact that it is also Damascus steel. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it has the waves on there. And yes, it is a Kriss design. So that's really cool. And it's not as aggressively wavy, which means this knife is functional for sharpening if need be. Still, with it being Damascus steel, want to make sure that I don't end up doing that if I don't have to, you know? But this is a great little knife. It operates very well. Like I said, manual opener. It is not a switchblade, but it's still really cool to have. Now, the thing that this lacks is a shield. It doesn't have a shield on here at all. You don't see where the company name is unless you look on the blade, and it's right there. You see the company logo of Hen and Rooster, and then you see C. Bertram. So I don't know what that is. That could be the maker. It could be the company. I don't know what it is. I don't know too much about Hen and Rooster. So if you guys can let me know in the comments, I would really like to know what that is. If that's the designer's name or if that's the, head honcho of the company, I don't know. So it has that information. And then you flip it around and it has, I'm assuming it's the identification code, which is on the box for the model number. So that's very vague with the text. There's not too much text on this. It doesn't need to be. This is a very nice knife. But I think that when it came out of the factory, they didn't pay attention to how it was put together, and they just threw some really not so great glue in there to try and keep this from moving around, wrapped it up, threw it in the box, and threw it on the shelf for purchase. This is it got me a little upset that happened, because somebody must have been tired or didn't really care in the factory, and they were just like, I put together and throw on shelf, I guess. That was a really horrible imitation of a German guy. But, why do you sound Russian? Anyway, it still worked out. I was still able to repair it. I also glued in the screw and the scale, and it's solid. Like I said, it's very solid. It's not going anywhere. And it's kind of like one of those for the collection type pieces. I'm not planning on using this. And if I do, I plan on using it lightly. Only because I know that there's not too many of these left. Last I checked on eBay, I think there was maybe 2 left. But yeah, so really cool knife, and I think this is the knife that kind of resembles what I was looking for in a stiletto, because the blade shape doesn't look like a clip point, so that's also a plus. The price tag on this, with it having real horn on here, or real antler, excuse me, and Damascus steel, put it a little bit over $100. So you're looking at $130, $140 for this guy. And with it being a mixture of screw and pin design, it's just one of those things of whether or not you want to pull the trigger on something like this. It's still a nice piece to have in the collection. It still can be a really nice letter opener. Or you can still use it for self-defense if it's legal in your area to, go to that route, which I hope and pray none of us ever have to. But this is just one of those cool pieces. So really awesome stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the specs of this knife just for the hell of it. And holding it in my hand, I have a really decent grip. That swell actually works very well for this kind of knife. So yeah, it's not as long, I don't think, as the Kissing Crane handles, but I can get a full 4-finger grip on there underneath the guard without there actually having to be an issue. So if you go in for a stabby or a slicey with that, or you can just put your thumb on this side and do the Filipino grip thing, it's nice and comfy. You can still use it for that. So let's go ahead and get into the specs, yeah? Excuse me. So we're looking at measurements here. Bam. Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so yeah, this is actually a little bit shorter than Kissing Crane, this particular one anyways. So you're looking at 8 3/4, while the Kissing Crane one was almost 9 inches. It was 8 7/8. So just a little bit, just a smidge, a hair shorter. The blade itself comes in at an exact 4 inches with a shorter cutting edge, which I think is really strange. Comes in at shorter than 3.5 inches. You are looking at 3 3/8. Looks like 3 3/8 on there of actual cutting edge. But the actual blade itself, as far as from the this part right here. I'm going to measure that out. So as long as you guys can see that, you have about 4 inches of reach. So it's about the same, and then of course if you're holding it the way that I was holding it without choking up at all, you're looking at 4.5 inches of actual reach. So that's pretty decent. That's a pretty big knife. Or at least bigger than, what your average guy would be normally carrying anyway. That's gorgeous in this light. I don't know why, but that is a really nice looking knife. Oh, I popped the battery out. Excuse. So, how you guys doing? Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get to the blade here. You're looking at a 2.3 or a 2.4 on the blade, and at the thickest of the handle, you're looking at a 23.4. So it's a little bit of a funky shape, but it is a functional shape. Like I said, holding this thing is actually quite interesting. It's not like a normal stiletto where everything's even. It's got that swell on there, so you actually have, when I'm holding this in my hand, it fills the hand. For as small and as thin as it looks, it fills the hand really well. I really do like the antler on here. It's very snazzy. And I know it's real antler because when I went to repair it and I popped off I unscrewed this, I did it carefully. Okay, so don't freak out. I unscrewed the one screw that was holding it on, and there was a little bit of glue in there. It was like a yellowish type of rubbery glue. It wasn't even like actual glue, which I thought was really strange. Popping this off and turning it around, I actually saw the inside of this thing, so I knew it wasn't plastic and it wasn't fake. It was real antler. So seeing the other side, and I saw all the little pitting and just the inside of the antler where it looks, I don't know if you guys seen the inside of an antler before, but it just kind of looks a little bit hollowed out. It's darker and it's got all this pitting. It looked exactly like that. And it was just like, it dawned on me like, oh yeah, they're using real materials. Fan-freaking-tastic. I love that. I hate when you find out something's fake. You take it apart, you flip it around, and you just find out that only the outside looks real, but the inside's all hollowed out and plastic. You're like, oh my, no, it's the end of the world. You flip tables, you just rage quit, But this is really nice for the money. It really is. It's great for the collection. Would I carry this? Yeah, maybe. Like I said, I'm trying to be responsible in how I carry stuff, and if I'm not allowed to carry something, then it just turns into a relic, part of my collection that I can either trade for or I can just keep and have it on a mantle somewhere and just be like, yeah, this is my little sticky stabby for home defense or whatever. I don't know. But this is really nice. You can see the layers of Damascus on there, which is really cool. You got the nail nick right here. My camera's just in and out of focus, probably because the lighting is a little bit more aggressive than I'd like it to be, which I do apologize. But that is real Damascus. So really awesome stuff. There's no blade play up, down, left, or right on this one. It's actually really solid. So they did a really good job on this. But like I said, this is a manual opening knife, and it's all pin construction. Not everybody is enjoying that. And there's a lock bar right there. Ooh, my wrist just popped. That's fantastic. But yeah, so Hen and Rooster, what do I think about those guys? I don't know too much about them. I think I know more about Kissing Crane than I do of Hen and Rooster. But since Kissing Crane and Hen and Rooster are both based out of Germany, at least one of them is, it's really cool. It's just a little piece of German. I don't know why I was going to say German propaganda. Just, I haven't had any knives from Germany. I've never had any knives from Germany. Mostly Japan, Taiwan, China, but never Germany. So that's actually really cool. I was about to get this World War II. There was this old German knife that I saw one of my friends had, and I was going to ask to buy it off of him, but I don't think he was going to give it to me. He was going to consider it at one point, but his I don't know if it's his great-great. I think it was his great-great-grandfather that served in World War II. It's an old German Nazis dress dagger that he had. And oh man, it was such a cool piece of history that he had on his mantle. And I was like, dude, where did you get that? And he was telling me a story about how his uncle was fighting in I don't know, like something. He was fighting in something, and he ended up having to go and wrestle this guy. Actually, physically kill this individual, and took his dress dagger as kind of like a trophy. He was able to take it back and bring it back here to the States, and he had it for the longest time. So it ended up going and passing down, and then it ended up in his hands. And the blades it's all jacked up. It's got like significant. It's a dress dagger. It's not really meant for use, but it does have an edge on it. Not a functional edge, but an edge. And it just looked old. It had a silver shield on there, but it was on top of horn like this. It was on top of antler horn, and it had the swastika on it, and it had the bird or eagle on it. I thought it was a really cool piece of history. Of course, I didn't want it because I'm like, I'm not all about that. I'm not a fan of Nazis or anything like that. I just liked the history behind it. And I was about to buy it because I really thought it was a cool piece just to have in anyone's collection. There's a lot of war memorabilia that people collect, just World War II stuff, whether it's from one side or the other. And I was thinking about, I was like, you know what? I really don't want that in my collection because of the fact that it has a swastika on it, and I don't want to rub anybody wrong if I were to display that anywhere. I don't want anybody thinking that I'm that kind of person, because I'm not. And I was like, you know what? To me, that kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth because I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, do I want that? I think it'd be cool, but at the same time, not. Because it's like, I'm not that kind of person. I don't want to advertise that kind of message to anybody, whether it be friends or family, or it'd be a cool conversation piece. Dude, oh, where'd you get that? How are you gonna go off of that story? I bought it off of somebody because I thought it was cool looking. They're like, oh, it's got a. You a fan of Hitler? Like, no, I'm not. No. I like the piece of history. It's just, I don't know. It just puts a very bad taste in my mouth, and I don't like stuff like that as much. I just think it was really awesome having that piece of history in his house. But I don't know. It's just it's really crude. Anyways, back to this. Like I said, this is probably the only. I have two or three more of these, and they come from Germany. So Hen and Rooster, I think it's a really, really nice piece to have. A little piece of German make in your collection. So I think it's really neat. For some of these knives, I wish they came with at least like a simple like pouch that you can just drop it in. You know what I mean? You just put it in a little pouch and carry it on you. But I think these are the kind of knives that you just drop it in the pocket, kind of traditional folding knives. Because most traditional folding knives are, nail nickers like this, where you could just open it two-handed. Now, a lot of nail nickers, I know you can actually buy a little thumb stud that you can attach. But I think these knives are a little bit too thin for that. If you tried doing that, it probably wouldn't work too well. But, still really cool stuff. Really, really nice knife. It very much resembles, to me anyways, it resembles the closest thing to an actual stiletto as possible. But it's just, I don't know. It's all in how you see it, I suppose. I think that they're a fantastic company, at least from the products that I've gotten. I mean, this one was, like I said, I had to repair this one. But I wasn't about to contact them and try to send it back and have to wait and pay whatever fees and, all that. No, I'm pretty sure they would have done the same thing. You glue it and then just email me saying, well, you can't take it apart if you're, then don't. I wouldn't want to. This is just something for the collection, something I'd carry maybe just once in a while. See, look at that. I'm trying to scoot up so I can get over to the camera a little bit more, but I keep hitting the tripod leg. I do apologize. I'm so sorry, guys. But I do appreciate you guys putting up with it. Like I said, I'm still trying to get used to this, so bear with me. I'm going to try and have a different setup as far as this, because I'm not using my original short tripod. I've been using a really long one that's separate from the table that it sits on. So it seems to work. I do like it. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I got more material for you guys, so go ahead and stay tuned. Go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe, slice that freaking bell icon so you guys are notified when I post new stuff. That was weird. Excuse me, I thought I was about to sneeze there for a minute. In these craziest of times, everybody, please be kind, be safe, carry responsibly, and I'll see you all awesome people in the next freaking video.